Hey friend, it's a full moon in Libra on April 1st, and while you might be expecting scale rattling drama, there's actually a different story the sky is saying yes to. Coffee up, my dears, you don't want to miss this video. So yeah, we're used to full moons bringing intense energy, fights, arguments, maybe unhappy surprises or revelations, but this full moon in Libra on April 1st is very different. Every major aspect in this chart for this full moon is cooperative. Nothing here is fighting or causing drama. I'm Stella Wilde, your anti-doom, no BS astrologer. And isn't this full moon in Libra energy refreshing? Yes, it is. I mean, the sky is literally handing you harmony on a plate right now. The Libra full moon is giving you a big cosmic yes. Who doesn't want that, you know? Mercury is trining Jupiter in the water signs. Mercury in Pisces, Jupiter in Cancer. Your intuition is on point. Venus is in its home sign, Taurus. Your body is tuning into what feels right for you. And also, let's not forget, Libra is also ruled by Venus. Venus in one of her home signs, Taurus. Very positive energy. We have Saturn in Aries sextiling, favorable alignment to Pluto in Aquarius. So the structural support for whatever change you want to create in your life is there. And you know what? If you want to build something new with the energies of Saturn and Aries, I will leave a link in the description for my Build Your Own Dream with Saturn and Aries ebook. If that interests you, check it out. At this full moon in Libra, really everything is lined up for progress. Beautiful energies. So we are going to pull some tarot cards for each sign to find out what you need to know about moving forward in the Libra area of your chart. What does this mean? So watch for your rising sign first, because we're going to discuss houses that way. Then your sun sign. Combine the messages that resonate from both. And you have about as personal a reading as you can get here on YouTube. And as always, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, the link is in the description. Timestamps also in the description. And first pinned comment, let's get into it. All right, Aries, let's see what you need to know about this full moon in Libra, the story in the sky, and what it is saying yes to in your life when it comes to other people and relationships. Whether business or personal, it's your birthday month. Are you excited? Your birthday season. All right, let's see what we have for you. But before we check in with these cards, please make sure you hit that subscribe and the bell to get notified when new videos release, because your Aries solar return video is coming very soon to the channel and you don't want to miss it. All right, we have Libra showing up. 6 of coins here. And we have more Libra, the Justice. And we're talking about Libra, your 7th house of other people. And more Libra, Queen of Swords. Wow. Okay. So what I feel is going on here is that the universe is, writing a story in the sky for you to communicate about more equitable relationships, more equity in your current relationships. The give and take, the ebb and flow, whether business or personal. It is okay to take care of yourself and still be in relationship with other people. Like, you don't have to sacrifice your own needs, be the hero or heroine for everybody. And then what about you, So I think that's what's going on here, because we do have, double scales here. In both of these cards, the 6 of coins and the Justice, and you can see them prominently in this particular card deck. So this is not about being mercenary and only thinking about what am I getting out of relationships. No, Libra is always about balance. But if you perhaps have been unbalanced in your relationships, where there's been more giving than energy coming back to you in some way, This story in the sky is saying it is time to make a decision, Queen of Swords, to rectify that, to fix that in your life. And it doesn't have to be in the typical Aries, fist-raising, combative way, as sometimes we can be, right? It doesn't have to be like that. It can be a simple statement of fact, right? It can be a simple, kind-hearted negotiation about what you need in a relationship. And it's not, making somebody the bad guy or the, bad person here. It's just, hey, let's have a conversation. This is what I need. And the timing is right for this, according to this full moon in Libra. Again, very harmonious stuff going on here for you. You may have things in your life that you are currently working on building. And if you are, seriously, check out that Saturn and Aries PDF. And you need that balance with other people and their demands and the relationships you're in. And this includes business life. So there may be a need to also set greater boundaries with contracts and clear expectations, especially with this Justice card about, what you are doing. Are you putting proper boundaries and limits on your time, as an example? Especially if you want more time for yourself, whether you're building a dream or you just want to chillax on the sofa with the cat and the TV, one of my favorite things to do, whatever it might be. There's only, Aries, right? There's only so much energy even we Aries people have. And we are pretty energetic. Thank God, right? We got a lot of, usually, energy at our disposal. Okay. But that is still finite. We don't like to admit that, but it's true. So that's what I feel is going on here. The sky is saying yes to you right now to put yourself a little more front and center and just negotiate those boundaries and that balance that you need. And I also feel that if some of you have been dealing with this in a money situation, like if there have been struggles with money, again, just general advice, it's because, again, the law of compensation, giving, receiving, is not being honored in terms of maybe you're giving too much. You're giving too much free time, free content, free this, free that, and the balance is off. So again, just something to think about. Think about that, right? It's always about balance in life. I mean, I have a Libra 9th house. So my whole life philosophy is about balance, and so this is what this is saying here. Okay. So just consider that as a philosophical thing to think about in terms if there is this constant flowing out of, and don't just think about your money, think about your time and energy as resources. That if the money is stuck for some reason, look at that balance. Just something to think about. You fix that balance, you may start to see more things flow to you because there isn't that disconnect. And also, maybe look at how you are able to receive from other people, because that's also this 6 of Coins energy. Because a lot of times, as I said earlier, Aries can be the hero or heroine. They're fine, like doing for other people, going out, doing whatever. But what about being able to soften into receiving in a balanced way? Receiving from other people is not a weakness. And I think Aries sometimes needs to be reminded of that. All right, Taurus, let's see what you need to know about the full moon in Libra, your sister sign, also ruled by Venus, like you are. This is your 6th house of work and well-being. Venus is back in your sign. Make sure you check out your Venus in Taurus video in your sign from March 30th to April 24th. You definitely want to check out that video, because often when Venus returns to our own sign, we get gifts, goodies, benefits, and of course, it's also your ruling planet. When our ruling planet returns to our own sign, that effect can be magnified. All right, the energy is popping. Let's see. We have a Page of Cups. We have an 8 of Coins. And we have a 9 of Coins. Beautiful energies here, Taurus. So I feel like what's going on here is the energy of what you focus on expands. Now, again, this Libra full moon, the sky is saying yes to you taking some sort of creative effort, saying yes to something that your heart is really aligned with, this Page of Cups, and just getting stuck in. Focus, build the thing. I feel like there is a pent-up energy, a wellspring of energy, creative energy inside of you that is demanding expression. And the expression of that creative energy can result in some pentacles. I mean, we have the 8 and 9 of Pentacles showing up here. Double Virgo. This is your 5th house of your heart space, of creativity. So whether you do something purely for your own joy, which is also 5th house, and that increases your well-being, which is your full moon in Libra energy, and or you do it because you want to make some money at it, and it makes you feel good also, both of those are valid at this full moon in Libra. So you may have a surprise download, a surprise offer, a surprise concept, just kind of, how full moons, they can bring downloads like that, creative inspiration. When you're like, oh my God, yes, I can work on that. That would be a great thing, this 8 of Coins, because I'm so good at it. It's like I'm a natural at this thing. And it can definitely help me, 9 of Coins, build up my bank account. Help me build my personal paradise. Help me pay my mortgage, pay my rent, 9 of Coins. Help me take care of myself. So this could be something new you're starting. Maybe it's something you already started working on, but you had to put on the back burner for a little while, and now you're coming back to it. So maybe this is something that, 6 months ago, when we had the new moon in Libra, maybe you did start it. Could even be last Virgo season, but, life gets in the way sometimes. But now it could be, I really have the desire, Page of Cups, to come back to this thing. Because it can support me and make me feel good about myself, that well-being. It just feels good. It feels so aligned to do it, right? And or it's time to start making some money at this thing. So I love this for you. Also, if this is work-related, there could be an opportunity for you to have your skills be highlighted, be in the spotlight for your work endeavors. Maybe there's a little bonus or some extra hours if you've been looking for them, something like that. This is very affirming energy. This is gorgeous. So always apply the energies to your life. All right, Gemini, let's see what you need to know about the full moon in Libra, which is your 5th house of love, romance, creativity, your heart space, the entrepreneur, taking risks, your creative life. Gemini. Let us see. We have for the Geminis. Oh, well, we have the moon. And we have little baby Gemini, Page of Swords. And we have the World. Ooh, what news is coming for you at this full moon? Wow. I think there is some sort of news on its way. The story in the sky says, yes, this is gorgeous energy with this full moon, as I said in the prelude to this video. I think what's interesting is this moon card showing up because there could be something in your heart that you are having a private doubt about. You are stewing, holding on to it. You're feeling nervous about it. You're like, when am I going to get the clarity on this thing? Like, I've been really wanting it to happen. I've been putting my focus and energy into it. Like I've been trying to manifest it, but I mean, if I'm honest with myself, I do have some doubts, right? Are you feeling me on this, Gemini? Let me know in the comments. You know how that is, right? It's like we want something, but yes, we still have a little like, how's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? Which, that's only normal. Okay. Is it the optimal for manifestation purposes? Not usually, but let's be real. Most of us have those thoughts. We do our best to keep our thoughts positive and, all the things, but a lot of times in our heart, there may be still secret doubts. And that's what I feel is going on. You're doing all the right things. Your mindset is good. I mean, you're showing up here as yourself, Page of Swords, but there's this. But I think there's news coming in. That's also your energy, the Page of Swords, through some sort of text, contract, written communications. Now, I think it's going to arrive at this full moon. But the next evolution of this energy is likely to come at the full moon in Scorpio on May 1st. Now, do not get mad at me in the comments and be like, I can't wait that long. Okay. Everybody's situation is different. I'm giving you time frames based on what I'm seeing in the cards and also all of my vast astrological knowledge. Okay. And we got Scorpio also in the world card. So I think there is something that is a process. It involves 2 full moons, this one in Libra, the one in Scorpio, May 1st. And I think you're going to get some news in stages that will successfully end a chapter of doubt. And with the world representing success, fingers crossed that it brings the success that you want. Okay? I mean, again, these are just general readings. You know, they're not predictions. I never say that. It's always energies you can use and dial into. So in that vein, right? If we are feeling good about this energy, let me know in the comments. Then that can help you at this Libra full moon release those doubts from your heart. Like this card can just go. And we can then focus our energies on what we're trying to manifest by that Scorpio full moon, May 1st, which is in your 6th house of work and well-being. So it may have something connected with that, the wish in your heart that you are wanting to create and manifest. Okay? So I think this is very, very positive. So make sure you're paying attention to phone calls, emails, contracts, actual snail mail, like all the things. I mean, we are technically out of Mercury retrograde. The shadow goes until I think April 9th or 10th. So, you know, just make sure you don't miss something either, right? But the sky is saying yes to you, which is very, very nice. Cancer's big full moon happening in your 4th house of the foundation of your life, your home, your family, where you're living, how you're living, who you're living with. The sky is saying yes to you. Are you contemplating some major change in those areas? Let's see what we need to know for you about that. Cancers. Let us see. We have a Page of Wands. Wow, Ace of Swords. And the Pluto. All right, so it's time to get your skates on this week. As soon as I saw that Page of Wands, I'm like, I don't think there's any more sitting on the fence. I think it is time you're going to be making some sort of big decision. And there may be a contract involved because of this Ace of Swords. This may involve something to do with actual physically changing up your home in some way, whether that's a move, which it might be for some of you, but it could be something as simple as changing up your home by moving out this sofa and getting a new one. It can be something like that as well. Or somebody's moving in, a kid is moving in or out, usually, right? Or there could be a new pet adoption. That's also possible. It's a page, so it's child energy. And, you know, even if your kid is 35 years old, they're still your kid, right? You know what I'm saying? All right. But you're getting your skates on. There is no more sitting on the fence. I think a decision needs to be made. And there could be a big change involved. That's the thing with the Death card. And the Death card, please do not freak out with that. That can just be the end of a chapter, right? Which, if we're making a decision, this can be like, you know what? Yeah, the end of my empty nest is over. My kid's moving back into the basement. Or, yeah, we're kind of done with this place. We don't want to live here anymore. We're going to start a whole new chapter somewhere else. And we're finally going to move on and make that decision, because the Ace of Swords, that is the Libra energy. That is cutting through the fog of anything that's been unclear. And you're able to see and center your mind and your focus on how to move forward and make that particular decision. Okay. So, and this is the Scorpio energy is your 5th house. So yeah, I mean, I think children could be involved in some way. It's very possible with this. Also, I mean, if this pertains to your financial foundation, which it might, I kind of look at the 4th house as that as well, right? And the 5th house is the house of the entrepreneur and taking risks. So especially if you have your own business, there might be something going on here where you're finally making a decision to move forward on doing something different with your business, perhaps starting a new business. Maybe something is going on at the May 1st Scorpio full moon. I was just discussing that with Gemini. So if you have any Gemini placements, definitely watch that portion of this video also. Okay, so always apply the energies to your life. But this is very favorable. Like, let's not forget the Ace of Swords is a victory card. It's triumph. Now, the triumph can just be, hey, I finally made up my mind, and we're moving on and we're changing things up around here. Or it could be a triumph in some other way. Remember, the skies are super supportive at this Libra full moon. So apply to your life. Let me know in the comments how you're going to use this energy, Cancer. All right, Leos, beautiful Leos. Let's see what you need to know about a full moon in your third house of your thinking, your brain, your mindset, your communications, contracts, negotiations, writing, speaking, teaching, sales. Let us see, Leos. Remember, the sky is saying a cosmic yes. It's good energy at this full moon in Libra. Oh, the wheel. I was thinking about Jupiter going into Leo. I almost said something about it. Maybe because I was really thinking about it when I was shuffling, and we get the wheel for you. Maybe, or it's just, part of this destiny. Page of Swords. And the Seven of Swords. What's going on with the Seven of Swords? Okay. Are you excited about Jupiter going into your sign? I am going to be discussing that at length because there are a few things to keep in mind about that transit. Right? Overall, it's very positive, but there is one little thing we got to just keep an eye on, and I will be doing videos on that. So again, subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss those, because that's going to be a very important transit for you to pay attention to when Jupiter goes into Leo, June 30th. But Jupiter is now in Cancer, but it's showing up here for you in the wheel card. So wheel, the wheel of destiny, as it says on this card, new cycles, luck, things finally manifesting, coming through, coming in for you. So I think there's an important communication. I mean, we have the Page of Swords showing up here. So a text, an email, a letter in the mail, whatever it might be, pay attention. We are still technically in a Mercury retrograde shadow until I think April 9th or 10th. Make sure you don't overlook something important that comes via those means, because you want to make sure you're jumping on something immediately. And something, the Seven of Swords, there's something could get sent to your spam folder, and, it shouldn't. So I will come back to the Seven of Swords again in a second, but Jupiter in Cancer is your 12th house. And this is, the behind the scenes. This is the angel on your shoulder type energy. So I'm getting Saved by the Bell. There could be something here where something swiftly changes, news comes in just in the nick of time. Okay. In a good, positive way. Because again, it's the third house, it's communications. And this could be in various areas of your life, whatever it might be. The Libra full moon is in that third house as the things I said before, the talking, the communicating. Okay. Now, the Seven of Swords is interesting because that is a tricky energy. That is an energy of hiding, deception. It can be lies, or as I like to call them, Fibonacci's. So it could be that there was a force that you are not aware of. Something perhaps a little shadowy, maybe a little malevolent, that was given an evil eye or giving a blockage energy or jealousy or something like that. This is not you. I don't think this is even anyone that close to you. I mean, it could be, but I don't really feel that. I feel like there was just something that caused a blockage, caused a postponement of something that should have happened earlier. And I think this really goes back, I would say, to last Libra season. That's what I think. There was maybe something that was just about to manifest, and then Jupiter went retrograde. Okay, back in October, Libra season, I believe. Again, don't quote me on that, but if my memory serves, I have a pretty good memory, but okay. So something like that. And it felt unlucky. It felt like I was saying, this malevolent energy with the Seven of Swords. So I don't feel like this is influencing this situation now, but this influenced it before. But that was the old cycle, and the new cycle is here. It's like this card is getting flushed out of the system. Good old Jupiter and Cancer in a water sign is flushing it out and getting rid of it as a protective angelic influence. And also, again, timing is very much, I think, sometimes a 12th house issue, because a lot of the times there are things behind the scenes. There are sometimes karmic wrap-ups or karmic things that are going on, not just with us, but perhaps with other people or other situations that we don't have control over that, So I think there's something like that. Whatever delay was going on was ultimately protective. Timing is everything with the wheel. And the timing is right for something important to come through for you now, Leo, is what I feel. Virgos, it is your big full moon in your second house of show me the freaking money, your self-worth, your self-esteem, and this beautiful, the sky saying yes to all this harmony at this Libra full moon. What is the sky saying yes to you about, Virgo? Let us see. A Virgo. Knight of Swords. The Three of Coins. Is somebody accepting a proposal? Eight of Wands. There could be a couple of people accepting a proposal. There's something here. Oh, I'm getting chills down my legs. I'm feeling like all of a sudden things are picking up for you. There could have been a time, the last 3 weeks, especially this Three of Coins, even maybe the last 3 months, where things have been a little more in a planning stage than in an execution stage. But now it's all systems go. Knight of Swords, there could be a very fast communication that comes in, somebody saying yes to a proposal. That's what I'm really feeling with this Three of Coins. It's business-related proposal, though. I don't think it's like a marriage proposal, but apply the energies to your life accordingly. And then we have this Eight of Wands, which is things very fast. Same thing, Knight of Swords, it's fast. Fast mental, fast physical. So we have energy that is all of a sudden kicking off big time. Right? Things are moving forward quickly. And I feel like sometimes with the Eight of Wands, I always feel like it's like one thing leading to another. So the ball gets rolling for you in some way. It may start out small, but then it could snowball quite quickly, especially during Aries season when we have so many energies and fire signs. I will be doing a video on that, so hit the bell, subscribe so you don't miss that, Virgo, because April is very intense. It's always about using the energies, and I think we can all use the energies to our advantage if we know how to do so. And I'm going to tell you all about that in a week or so. So stay tuned for that. But I think this is very good. And things could come out of the blue for you. They could come out suddenly behind the scenes. This Leo energy, your 12th house behind the scenes. So you could get wind of some sort of karmic payback, karmic contract, like something that is owed to you. Also, that can be very 12th house. Some sort of energetic or karmic debt. It may not be literally monetary debt, but something that gets paid off, that comes back to you, that is owed you in some way. And this could be through some sort of, like I said, an opportunity, a proposal being accepted, a plan that gets set in motion. And then all of a sudden, all these other plans start falling into place. It is that type of energy. It is very nice. Let me know in the comments what you're looking forward to with that, Virgo. Libras, it is your full moon. How are you feeling? Let me know in the comments. This is very harmonious, lovely energy. And it is happening in your first house of who you are, how you show up in the world, also your physical body, your appearance, etc. So let's see what the sky is saying yes to for you in terms of maybe a new goal that you want to pursue, or how your current goals are paying off for you, etc. All right, let us see. Libras. Libras, what do we need to know? We have a 7 of Cups. Ooh, we have a star. You're a wish. There could be a wish manifesting for you. Oh yeah. Wow. Ooh, chills. 6 of Wands. Okay. So we have your heart space showing up here with the star card. That is Aquarius, your 5th house. A pleasure, joy, your heart. Pluto is there, of course. And Pluto is going to be restructuring your values, restructuring the things that give you pleasure, that give you delight. It could be restructuring the things your heart is wishing for, because that's what Pluto does when it transits a sign. It restructures, it usually collapses and bulldozes something first, and then you rebuild with Pluto. But this is very good energy. So we have the House of Wishes, the 7 of Cups. Now, 7 of Cups is interesting. It's your Cancer energy. It's your 10th house of career. Jupiter is there. So this could relate to manifesting some sort of new opportunity that's more aligned with your heart space, your creative energy, your creative values. And maybe there is news about manifesting a job change. Maybe you're finally getting news, or you see the perfect job you can apply for, and you've been like looking for months and there's been nothing to even apply for. This could be some sort of presentation of self, 6 of Wands, in front of other people, especially a full moon in your own presentation of self house, the 1st house, where you're appearing very confident. This is confidence. This is star quality. This is like, look at me and how great I am. And don't be selling yourself short. Like, blow your own horn. Seriously, that's what this is. If you want to manifest this dream, this is not a time for you to be like in the shadows and all humble. This is not humble energy. Okay, you can do a little humble bragging if you need to, right? If you're not fully comfortable being totally braggadocious, you can just be a little humble braggy with this star and the 6 of Wands. What you do, you Libra, always the harmony and the balance, whatever works for you. But this is very, very nice. Very nice. So there could be a new direction that you see yourself heading in that could be on the horizon for you. I feel like a big wheel gets set in motion for you. News comes in. This to me, the star is very much a destiny card of a new chapter, a new situation, and especially karmically, like a new karmic chapter getting ready to open for you. But there is something here with the 6 of Wands that involves, since this full moon is in your 1st house, as I said, involves you showing up for it. Like, this is not something that just kind of lands in your lap, right? This is something that may involve a little bit of selling yourself, promoting yourself, speaking up for yourself, advocating for yourself, like these types of energies with this 6 of Wands, okay? You already have the star quality. They already see that in you. But they also need to see that you see that in you. Scorpio, let's see what you need to know about your full moon in Libra, which is your 12th house. 12th house, the closet of our lives, hidden stuff, our subconscious, karmic wrap-ups, the unseen, the hidden. But remember, this full moon is harmonious. So I think there's something here about a karmic chapter ending because you're choosing to end it. You're choosing to surrender, release, let go. And this did come up in your weekly. I will leave a link to that in the description. You might want to check that out. It is time-stamped, so you can find your sign easily. But let us see what you need to know. You might be wanting to build something new for yourself at this full moon, and you're getting kind of that downloaded information of how to do that, what you need to let go of to build something new, whether with your work or well-being, with that Saturn energy and Aries. Again, check out that PDF. I'll leave a link in the description. Saturn and Aries, build your own dream. Let us see, Scorpio. 6 of Cups. The World. And the Moon. Okay. This is what I think. I think a couple of things. We have the moon showing up, and we're talking about a full moon, but that can also be issues of doubts, fears, worries. It's your emotional state. It can be related to home as well, of course, but we have emotional stuff going on. We have the 6 of Cups here. So there could be this sense of karmically wrapping up a chapter with the World card also, which is, one of your cards in the traditional deck. You show up on the World. So there could be something here where you are putting to rest and letting go of some sort of friendship, some sort of romantic situation. And this could be from the past. Maybe you've been waiting on somebody to, sorry, cat hair, change their mind, to finally come back, to show up, to maybe finally admit what they did. Because maybe there was some shadowy stuff going on. It's possible here, okay, with this moon. I think you might realize at this Libra full moon that that's costing you. That's costing you your balance, your equilibrium, your harmony. And it is time to release that. It's time to let go any last little bits of stuff you've been holding on to in that regard. That is what I feel. There will be new wishes. There will be new things. There will be new relationships. There will be the dawn of a new day. Again, a full moon in the 12th house is a time to shine a spotlight, the moon, on things we often do not want to look at. But this full moon is so positive. It is saying you can let this go with the proper love and perspective. Maybe not necessarily love for that person if they did you wrong, but at least love for yourself. Giving that gift, Six of Cups, to yourself of letting it go. Now, forgiveness is a totally different issue. Okay, I am not talking about that. That is a long conversation for another day. I'm talking about simply releasing something that is still percolating in the shadows of the 12th house behind the scenes, this moon card, that is energetically draining you and costing you. Because that energy, as it's kind of subconsciously rippling through, it is like a battery draining, right? You know what I'm saying? So this full moon is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to release anything you have going on in your life like that. Maybe it's time to write the unsent letter. Maybe it's time to release it through writing a poem about it, a memoir about it, or whatever, okay? There could be something with personal self-expression. Maybe it's a letter you end up burning or shredding. Please do everything safely if you're burning anything, okay? But again, that sense of finality, the world, like not having that in your world anymore, that energy. And you're doing that as a gift to yourself so that you can create new things. And your full moon is coming up on May 1st. So that may be a deadline for you. Maybe you're having some epiphanies about whatever the situation is for you. And maybe you give yourself a deadline of your full moon to finally have the last bits of that release. Because, hey, Scorpio energy. I have a Scorpio moon. I mean, I get it. Like it takes us stages to let go of things and put them into the proper perspective. And that's okay. That's your process. Do not beat yourself up about that. But that's what I feel. That's what I feel here for you. And I think there's also something here to give yourself the gift of something nice that you can do for yourself also in your world as a reward for processing through, looking at this stuff. Treat yourself well. I mean, Libra's a lot about self-care as well. And sometimes when we're going through intense 12th house stuff where we're looking at deep things, purging, releasing, we need a little extra TLC. So that may be very appropriate for you right now as well, Scorpio. Sagittarius, full moon in your 11th house of hopes, wishes, and dreams. Ooh, very nice. And this is such a beautiful, harmonious full moon. Is a story being written in the sky for you, Sagittarius, about a wish coming true? I got my fingers crossed for y'all. All right, let us see what the tarot has to say. Sagittarius, let us see. Let us see what we got. Knight of Swords. The Two of Wands. And the World. And you saw me shuffle. Scorpio just got that. All right, so this is what we got going on here. Ooh, I'm getting chills. there's likely news coming in. We have the air sign energy here, the Knight of Swords. This is fast moving news, text, written communications, contracts, things are happening. That news, though, around the full moon, April 1st, is bringing you to a Two of Wands situation. Okay. And you can see in this card deck, there is a shepherd tending their flock, and they are at a crossroads. Which way are you going to take your flock? Which way are you going to move yourself along? And the things that you value, right? The shepherd values his or her flock. So what are you going to do as a result of this news? I think you will know what you're going to do around the middle of April, 2 weeks from this full moon in Libra, when we have the new moon energy happening in Aries. Cat here, sorry. With, I lost count of how many planets. There's I think 6 or 7 planets in Aries in the middle of the month at the new moon. I will be doing an epic video on it, so please subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss it, because you're not going to want to miss it. And I think it is at that Aries epic energy of the new moon middle of the month, which is very much aligned with your fire energy, that you reach that decision and the new chapter can begin. You successfully wrap up whatever you've had going on that brought you to this crossroads. You wrap it up so you can start the next phase, of your journey. So as I said to a couple of the other signs, there's sometimes, yes, progressions of energies, right? Especially working with moon cycles, right? Full moons, new moons, everything's connected. We're not just looking at one little window of time. Sometimes as the tarot, when it advises on moon situations, points us to perhaps the next moon phase. And that's what I think is going on here. And I also feel the May 1st Scorpio full moon, because Scorpio's in the world card, is going to be important for you as well in regards to the next phase of the journey. So there may be 2 things. There may be the decision at this crossroads, the middle of April, and then there could be the final wrap up around May 1st. So we got Knight of Swords at this Libra full moon, news coming in. You got to respond to it fast. You're going to want to respond to it fast. Then you might even be waiting for somebody else to get back to you once you communicate. You also may just be kind of thinking about your own decision, what you're going to be doing. You may be laying plans in place, figuring things out with this Two of Wands. That will be happening middle of April. Middle of April, there may be news coming in. That again takes us to May 1st, the Scorpio full moon, which is your 12th house of karmic endings and wrap-ups. And there you go. We have successfully navigated this situation that we are going through. So take it in stages. I would say this Two of Wands is the most important card here for me in this reading for you, Sag, because you got to slow down, in my opinion. I'm not telling you what to do, but I suggest you slow down and you really stand for a minute at that crossroads and really think about that decision carefully. We make the best decisions we can at the time with the information we have. We can't always know which road is going to go where, right? We just do the best we can. But because the wand is coming up, it's very much think about your heart space. It's that Aries energy, that Two of Wands. Think about really what lights your fire, what makes you happy, what feels aligned for you. That really is a great compass to steer your decision by. And the thing too is, with the World card next to that Two of Wands, I feel this is very much a Robert Frost poem. Where he's walking in the woods and, there's 2 paths. Which way does he go? And he talks about how once you choose the other one, you can't go backwards. And he chooses the road less traveled. That's the name of his poem. And I feel like you may be choosing the road less traveled. It's possible. But I think in that poem, it's more and way leads on to way. That's what he talks about. It's once you commit and make that decision, that's why I'm telling you to stand at that crossroads for a moment. Be Robert Frost. Take a moment to tune in with the poetry in your heart and be all right, way leads on to way. Once I get on that road, I'm not going to have the luxury of backtracking and going over here. So make your decision carefully. Capricorn, how are you, my friends? Big full moon in Libra in your 10th house of career calling, the spotlight showing up in the public, and such harmonious energy at this full moon. Are you feeling it? I'm feeling it. Let us see what you need to know. Capricorns, the story in the sky is saying yes. Let us see what you need to know. Capricorn. A 6 of Swords. Very interesting. The Lovers, double sixes. And there you are. Wow. Okay. So interesting. Now, Venus, money planet. We like to keep track of Venus, don't we, Capricorn? Yes, Capricorn placements like to know what is our money doing. So we're tracking Venus. Venus, money planet, is in your 5th house of creativity, the house of the entrepreneur. It's in Taurus as of March 30th until April 24th. Check out that video. I will leave a link to it in the description so you don't miss that. Okay. We have double Gemini energy going on here. The 6 of Swords and the Lovers. Your 6th house of work and well-being. But I also feel like this could be some sort of intellectual property or creative project that you are wrapping up at this Libra full moon. Maybe there is a negotiation to sell, because you're showing up here, King of Pentacles, should sell your intellectual property. Libra is also about contracts, wills, estates, inheritances, all the legal paperwork about money negotiations. And because we also have this Gemini showing up here, so there could be a lot of communication, perhaps with a lawyer, legal agreements. Again, this goes back to the Libra energy of the 10th house. And things like patents, trademarks, intellectual property, renegotiating something related to your finances so that it is more favorable for you in some way. Negotiations at work, perhaps with a raise, promotion, different duties. The motivation here is, I think, the 6 of Swords, that we need some mental relief from some sort of stress or pressure in these areas, perhaps. Like, the energy that comes before the 6 of Swords, right, is the 5 of Swords, which I call my daytime anxiety. It is the worry, the mental exhaustion from constantly thinking about something that's hanging over your head that's unresolved. And so that's what I feel. Now, the King of Pentacles here is your energy. It's very strong that I think you're going to land on your feet. There is something going on here where, again, there's harmony in the skies, where I think there is an important conversation, negotiation, and it will help solve a problem in whatever area we have going on here. It will help give you mental relief, release, stress release. You can be like, okay, we got that done. And now I can move on to other things. So there is that as well. But again, this Libra, this legal, I'm feeling legal for some of you in all its possible permutations. Again, nothing negative here, but it is to seek out legal advice so you're not worrying, so that you can feel more confident. But it could be seeking out legal advice because you are selling a piece of intellectual property or some other type of property. I mean, that's possible too, with Venus in Taurus, property house, you're showing up here, King of Coins. King of Coins is very connected with real estate. So it could even be those things, even though technically the full moon's in your 10th house of the public. But hey, real estate transactions, they get recorded in a book of deeds. That is public. So this is how we use the energies. I try to give you as many examples as I can, but you always have to apply them to your specific life, right? But that's what I feel. Solving some sort of issue that gives you less stress. There's harmony. There's a rebalance of the situation. But you may need to make some sort of decision, the Lovers here, about what's best for you in this situation. I'm also just getting the vibe. There could be a lot of paperwork going on for some of you. Some of it may be legal. It could just be other things that are connected with your career in some way. There may be the negotiation of some sort of contract, work environment as well. So just also kind of keep that in the back of your mind. But again, favorable full moon should be harmonious. But I really think since you showed up, make sure you don't forget your own self in whatever negotiation is going on, that terms are also favorable for you. Aquarius, full moon in your 9th house of exploration, of getting out there, having adventures. It is the house of expansion and growth. And the full moon is very, very harmonious. So let's see what the sky is saying yes to for you. And we have Saturn and Neptune in your 3rd house, opposite the 9th, about your mindset and communication. So there could be some messages, some affirmations coming to you from the universe at this full moon about how your mindset, your communications are really bearing fruit in some way. There could also be some marketing things. If you have your own business that you've been contemplating doing, maybe you're finally seeing the payoff with those. All right, let's see what you need to know. Aquarius. 7 of Cups. And the 10 of Cups. Very nice. And there you are. The star. A star is born. All right, now, 10 of Cups for me. Yes, it can be family energy, but not everybody has a family. So it can be your ultimate personal happiness, the pot of gold at the end of the freaking rainbow. 7 of Cups, our Cancer energy, work, well-being. There is a wish you have had for your work or well-being life. Maybe you wanted to expand and grow. Maybe you want those marketing efforts to pay off. Maybe you want to be more well-known, the star. Again, your name is the first one tripping off the tongue of people in your industry, like that type of thing, that would give you a lot of satisfaction. So collective energy, there's something here perhaps of expanding and growing within a collective niche, a collective industry, in a group, 10 of Cups, that I don't want to say you want their approval, but you just want to know you're part of that group and they respect you and they, see you as the star you are in some way. So that's, respect. That's kind of the vibe I am feeling here. But also I think there's something here of expanding and growing and, letting people know who you are. There's publicity involved here, perhaps, especially if you have your own business, right? And marketing. That's, this 3rd, 9th house. Something maybe about the satisfaction of belonging to a group of writers or creatives, and everybody's lifting each other up and there's real camaraderie and wanting that wish to happen and be a part of that type of energy. So all of that is possible here with this. Of course, Pluto is in your sign, as we know, but it is making a very favorable alignment with your 3rd house of the mind, Aries and Saturn. So you could have a whole new awareness about your own mindset, what you're thinking, as I said, how you're communicating. And there could be transformations you're undergoing in the presentation of self. With the star, you're showing up a lot more confident. Not that you weren't confident before, but there is just a different energy about you now. You're really stepping into your own joy, your own power. And, that is how we find the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, honestly. So this full moon in your 9th house of expansion and growth and all the harmony going on with the Libra energy could absolutely be writing a story in the sky, showing you exactly what's working for you and to keep doing more of it. Because not only does it perhaps support your work life, maybe getting you more clients or more exposure or better hours or more hours or a supervisor role or whatever your goal is, but it also ultimately supports your well-being. You feel better when you have this going on in your life. All right, Pisces, let's see what you need to know about this harmonious full moon in Libra in your 8th house of other people's money, transformation, big money situations. Let us see. All is harmonious, shining a spotlight for you, Pisces, on resources that manifest vis-a-vis other people. We have the Hierophant. Now, Taurus energy, Venus just went into Taurus as of March 30th. That is your third house of mindset and communications. We have the Judgment. And we have a Page of Swords. Okay. So we have energies here around negotiations, commitments, contracts, and it involves other people. So this other people can be, this is how I look at it, your employer. It can be clients that pay you money. It could be a bank that's going to fund your loan for XYZ. It can be a negotiation with a creditor, these types of things. It's eighth house, all that, adulting when it comes to money. So we have getting good advice though. This Hierophant, there may be something here where you need to do a little research, maybe ask a professional. It's always a good idea. A financial advisor, a tax person, a mortgage lender, whomever, right? Something like that before you make a big decision. Judgment is here. And so this is a big decision. It's not just, a little financial decision. It could be big. And the Page of Swords. So before you sign on that dotted line, before you say yes, before you, third house for you, communicate, you're going to do this thing, do your homework. That's what this is saying to me. And the other thing too here with this time, there's a big clock on this card in this deck with the Judgment. If somebody is pressurizing you into making this big commitment at this full moon and you don't feel totally ready for signing up for it, then don't do it. That's the other thing. Like, time is on your side here. If somebody's rushing you, it's usually to their advantage, not always to yours. So, and the same thing, if you're trying to rush through some sort of commitment and not do your homework, the guide here, and find out what you need to find out, again, I would caution against that. I would say, find out what you need to find out. You may think you know everything, and maybe you do. I mean, I don't know. But there's always maybe another piece of information you don't know that could be easily overlooked. Mercury is still technically in its shadow period until I think it's April 9th or 10th. It is out of retrograde. But I'm just saying, because of this combo of energies that we're getting with the tarot here, is to take your time. I think time is on your side with this. And, you have Saturn in your second house of money right now, in Aries, and also Neptune, your ruling planet. So before you commit to some, grand vision that you have for your money, make sure the commitment is solid. Make sure you can also honor the commitment. Especially if this eighth house for you involves taking on debt. You really want to make sure that you know what you're signing up for. I mean, you get the message I'm harping on here. I know you do, Pisces. I'm just being protective. So just really think about what you're doing, that whatever decision you are making, you're doing it with totally eyes open, all the fine print, and make sure it's in a proper time period. Because that's the other thing. Maybe with this Judgment, depending on what you have going on in your life, the decision could be, I'm going to wait. I'm going to maybe wait 5 months before I make that commitment with this money situation. That's fine too. Okay. But focus on your comfort. This is the thing with the Libra, right? It's balance, harmony, comfort. And because Libra's ruling planet, Venus, is in your third house of the mind, this is about your mental comfort also. If you're feeling one little thing where it's kind of like at you, you know how you get, Pisces, right? Then listen to that. Don't ignore it. Don't try to talk yourself into something. So thank you so much for joining me for your full moon in Libra Astro Tarot Energy Forecast. Would love to hear from you in the comments. And as always, I appreciate you guys so much. All your hypes, your shares, your comments, your likes, all of that helps out the channel so very, very much. And thank you to all the channel members for their support every month. I see you. I love you. I appreciate y'all. And yes, make sure that you have checked out the weekly, because they're back. I'm on the second week of the weeklies now. Weekly tarot readings. They're short, sharp, right there on point for you, because this week is big. This week is big, so we have a weekly for it. And with this forecast, you should be in good shape to navigate your week ahead. I will leave that link to that video also in the description. And just double check, make sure you are subscribed. I've heard a few things that people thought they were subscribed, they weren't. Who knows what happened? Okay, so just double check, hit that subscribe and the bell so that you get notified, because you know what? There are so many energies happening in April that we need to discuss. I will be back very soon with horoscopes for y'all for April, and also a special oracle card reading with an astro deck. Yeah, astro deck for the month of April also. And I know you don't want to miss those, right? So subscribe, bell, all the things. And also there is a link in the description to sign up to my newsletter. I email, usually once a week. And oftentimes I do put information in there about videos I've published, but you can get on that list. It is free. I don't bombard you with 50 bazillion emails. But it's newsy, it's chatty. I let you know a few things that are going on. So if you're interested in that, the link is in the description, because sometimes, maybe you are subscribed and have the bell on, but you don't always get notifications. So you don't know. I hear that a lot too. I hear, Stella, where did you go? Well, I've been here. I've been here. Sometimes we just got to stay connected through a couple of different ways. All right. And also always check the community post, because I've been posting a bit more over there as well. All right, you guys, have a great full moon in Libra. Love you. Take care. I will see you again soon. Stella Wilde signing out.